they're getting a Foley catheter. Let's see, for female, I'll start with female first. So the positioning is, oh yeah, I've got my female now. Just legs are up. That is it. In surgery, we frog leg them. We do that. Because then what happens is, okay, a person that's awake, they can hold their feet up like that, but someone who's asleep can't. So we frog them, and then that naturally like keeps them, they're like pushing against each other's heels, even when they're asleep. So it's hard to do this when they're frogged for you as students who's never done it before. For us who've done it, it's nothing. So I show you this way. So then you have your working space in here. All right, so with this, you just open your kit and you follow, one away from you. I go ahead and start turning right away so I get my square. And this is where, if in a live setting, you could have a blanket or a sheet of their upper body so that they don't get cold. And you put your gloves on again. So these gloves, hopefully they're green in your kit as well. But you just put your gloves on. Just make sure you keep your hands above your waist. Don't do this, because you guys can do this. So do this. Struggle in the air. All right.
You might need to bring our own sterile gloves?
If you want to, that's fine. All right, so you will see again another shiny sheet. What you do is you take your fingers underneath and you go like that. So you're cupping your hands or your fingers so that when you tuck, your fingers do not touch their bottom. So when you grab it out, however you want to do it, just put your fingers and your thumbs are out and you roll. So everything is tucked. Now, in a patient who's awake, you can tell them, oh, lift your bottom up. If not, doesn't matter. You just take it, go just like that, and you're out. That's it. You're not trying to make it all neat and get a wrinkle. You don't care about wrinkles because you're not going to be on it for more than whatever, 10 minutes. This is where I just bring it up to meet so I have continuous sterile. This here, you may see it in a live setting. They don't use this, but this is another way to pinpoint where you're going and also to give you a sterile setup above and below so that it kind of protects you from the thighs. And it goes vertical, not that way. All right, so you want to put it vertically. And this you can just place. And you see how if I need to push on the bladder because I don't see urine, then you can still do that and you're still sterile. If you don't have this and you do that, then you're no longer sterile. So this just kind of focuses in where you're going. These are your swab sticks. You have 3. You won't actually open them up. You'll just verbalize how you would use them. This is your KY jelly. You would always lubricate the end of a Foley catheter so that it can go in. On these mannequins, they have been going in without it. So if you are struggling on test day, I may tell you just use a little bit, but for the most part, don't use them. You should be able to go in without it. And then this is your saline. This is used to inflate the balloon. Most hospitals now, we used to always inflate the balloon beforehand to make sure it works and then inflate again inside the body. Now they're saying you don't even test it. So you just inflate once you get it anchored. You take the tip off here. All right, so I set this tray forward. If I were actually using this, I would actually tear it off, and I always set it up high. And then this here can be where your lubrication jelly is. This here is your Foley catheter here. Oh, this is your specimen cup. We won't need that. But if you need to get a sterile specimen, you've got a cup. You can get it right there. So this is your Foley catheter. You want to be careful that when you take it out, you're not slinging everywhere. All right. If you do it with the plastic on, okay, you're still okay because it's still sterile. But the last thing you want to do is do that, and then it lands or hits the thighs or anything. So when you pull it out of this, you want to make sure that you're holding on to it and doesn't touch anything else that it should not touch. Now, so I have this, and with the lubrication jelly, it will hold this in place. So then that's where my KY jelly is, so it'll stay there. I have my 3 swabs open, ready to go. So now I'm ready to go and spread the labia apart. So when you put whatever hand that you have down, if you're on that side or this side, whatever hand you put down, you spread the labia apart and it stays there. You do not lift this up again and touch your kit, because now you've contaminated it. So you put your hand down, you're spreading the labia apart. You use your other hand, you take a swab stick, and you wipe from the top, the clitoris, down to the anus on the opposite side of where you are, toss. You take a second swab stick, you go from the clitoris down to the anus on the other side, toss. Your last and third one, you go down the middle. So you go from the top all the way down to the middle. Now for students who don't know or haven't really seen the anatomy up close like that, when you go down the middle, they tell you to look for something that winks at you like an eye, because that is where you're going. Yes. It's a little. Yes, the one you never see. I was a little girl looking for a third eye. I'm like, what are you doing in there?
My teacher told me I
That's okay, right?
So you have the urethra, the meatal opening, the vagina, and the anus. So the one that you're shooting for is the one below the clitoris. I've seen students try to catheterize the clitoris. No, it's right below it. So they tell you, rule of thumb, if you don't know where you're going, when you do that third swipe, it will literally look like something winked at you, because a little bit of the betadine goes inside the hole and comes back out. So it's like a wink. On elderly women, women as we age, the wink may be to the side, maybe to the side, left or right. It could be anywhere, because the anatomy changes. I mean, I've anchored on older women where it was like, I think I'm in a vagina and I'm in
the anus.
I've never anchored there. Oh my gosh. That's a new one. But if it is an older female, it may not be, right below each other. It may be to the side. So that's why you want to look for that wink. All right. So then once you do that, all you do is just take your lubricated end and you're holding on to the tip of it. You don't want to hold it way down here, because you've got to control where it goes in. So you have it close to the tip. On women, you're only going about 3 to 4 inches. You're not going in very far, because on women, the urethra is very short. And on women, once you see urine, when you see it flowing into the bag, you go about another inch, because you want to make sure you're past the meatal opening. And you take the hand that is down to hold that in place. Oh, I should have connected